Good morning on this late August morning here in northeast Iowa. Today I'm headed up to Volga River Recreation Area. I'm going to put my canoe on Volga Lake, do some exploring, possibly do some fishing, just enjoy a very quiet morning. The sun is going to burn off what little fog is left, not much wind. It's just going to be hopefully just a calm, pretty relaxing morning. This Volga River Recreation Area, Frog Hollow Lake specifically, is somewhere that my stepdad and I used to come up to a lot. After he died, I just haven't been up here very often. So the last couple days I've been thinking about it and thought, what the heck, I'm going to come up here and give it a try. And if nothing else, I'll enjoy a paddle around a very pretty lake. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you like what you see. The Volga River Recreation Area really is a pretty spot here in northeast Iowa. In addition to the lake, there's many miles of hiking trails that people are also using for bikes, horses, lots of fun activities that you can do here at the area. The trails are really pretty challenging, steep and wind around. I've spent probably as much time hiking on the trails as I have been on the water lately, and it's very nice and pretty in the fall. The equestrian area is quite popular, and seldom is it not full of those folks who like to ride their horses on trails. Anyway, as you can see, it's a pretty lake, or a pretty area with a nice lake. Frog Hollow Lake is actually a man-made lake, and when it was first put together, if I remember it right, when it was first constructed, Frog Hollow Lake was supposed to be bigger than it is now, and there were problems with it leaking, so they had to line the lake. I don't know if they used bentonite or some form of clay. I don't know what they did, but I do remember the construction process having some complications. This main entrance road into the park, obviously, as you can tell, it's getting a little bit tired. Looks like they've been doing some work on the sides. Maybe the road is coming up next. Hunting is popular up here. Deer, turkey, anything you can hunt in Iowa. We're approaching a stop sign. At this stop sign, if you turn to the right, you would go to the Equestrian area. Go to the left and you're going to Frog Hollow Lake. A lot of people just call it Volga Lake. I'm not sure what to expect this morning, if it'll be full of other people that had the same idea that I had or not. Plenty of habitat up here for wildlife, so I'm glad that the state protected this area. I should have mentioned too, there's a very nice campground. There's the equestrian campground back there to the right, and up here, if you go off the road to the right, there's a nice non-equestrian campground, your traditional type campground. What we have found, though, if we've got any concerns with it, is that it's just hard to get in there. With the reservation system, it seems to fill up awful fast. But we've always enjoyed it when we were able to get in and stay up here. Nice camp area. It's pretty, scenic, plenty to do. Unlike some of the campgrounds, you don't hear a lot of road noise. You don't hear a lot of noise. It's just out here in the middle of this area, so it's isolated from a lot of traffic. Well, I think I'm about ready to get out on the water. This is the boat ramp and the dock. You can see I've got a canoe full of equipment here to make this video and to maybe do some fishing. Lake's turned over. It's not as pretty as I've seen it in the past, but it'll still be good to paddle on. Just a little view here. From the looks of this canoe, I'm not sure I left much at home. It's really quite full when I try to shoot photos and fish. We'll see how this works. As I paddle here, I'm trying to also learn a sonar unit. So I've got a little bit of drag on the right side of the canoe. Makes for extra noise, that's for sure. Where I'm at now, according to the sonar, is 19.9 feet deep. The water is 72.54 degrees, which is about 10 degrees warmer than the air temperature right now. I am really surprised by this lake. This is like paddling in pea soup. Some of it is really a thick scum. It doesn't give an accurate representation of how pretty this lake really can be. I had thought about heading to the Mississippi River. I'm wondering if I shouldn't have. Oh well, I'm here now. I can tell you for sure, what I see up here on the left, while it's pretty, is not something I'm ready for. I am not excited about this season coming yet. No matter where I go on the lake, it appears to be pea soup. But I'm still seeing wildflowers. And I'm seeing places where lots of birds have roosted. Lots of whitewash, which makes me wonder if we've got some green herons out here, or what do we have? I kind of paddle up to it and you can see what I'm referring to. Notice all the whitewash on those leaves. So somewhere around here a bird spends a lot of time. Which means if I'm lucky and careful and watching, maybe I'll see what that bird is. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a green heron. I have seen them here before. But so far I haven't seen it today yet. I'll keep looking. Green herons feed by stalking along the shoreline. When they see a minnow, they jab down in and get at minnows or frogs or about anything they can eat. So far, nothing. There are areas of habitat out here for folks who want to fish. In the old days, we used to catch a lot of catfish out of here, and supposedly there's some pretty good sized catfish in here. And more signs of fall. Really looks like it might have been a nice morning to hike the shoreline of the lake. Although I don't remember there being an established trail all the way around it. It might be game trails, but I don't want to bushwhack this time of year. Too many nettles and ivy. There's a log. What a pretty morning. Perfect for this. Getting really shallow right here. Not even a foot deep. Must have some carp. Whoa! That one lifted up the canoe. Apparently they're not used to vessels coming back in their shallow little area. Oh, what a pretty little cove. It'd be nice to have a cabin back in the corner overlooking this. This would be your view every morning when you wake up. Is that a heron feather hanging off of that log there? I believe it is. Yep, blowing in the wind. Even though I have fishing boats and could come up here and just run a motor, I so prefer to paddle. As you can tell, it lets you get into the backwater areas. You're quieter. You seem less intrusive. And I think because I'm paddling, it forces me to slow down and I see more. Well, there's no doubt I see more. I know that. I put these videos together for a couple of reasons. First off, I enjoy sharing with others what I see. But from a more personal basis, I really, it's something that I enjoy watching in the summertime or in the winter. I can look back at my summer days and be anxious, reflect back, But the biggest thing is it does make me very, very anxious then for the changing seasons. Got more carp back here. Very shallow. Woody. Look at this carp. You can maybe see a couple of them. Look at the size of them carp. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I hope you caught that. Wow. See if we can spook some more. They're huge. Guess I'm ruining their day. Paddling like this is something I really enjoy, and I don't know why. I just enjoy paddling. Doesn't matter to me if it's a lake, if it's a river. I enjoy paddling. What's the bright red seeds here? Bright red anyway. I can't tell if that's seeds or if that's... What is that? Have to look that one up. May have to check with family and friends about coming up here and camping this fall. Unless it's all reserved already. Oh, there's a warbler. Ah, I see something worth studying here. Notice the fungus on the log sticking out in the water. I'm seeing some of that blue-green stuff. I wonder if this stuff on the water is that blue-green algae. If it is, I sure wish I hadn't been putting my hands in the water to adjust the transducer. It's not the best stuff to be making contact with. Too late now. Got things that look like wild grapes, but I don't know that they are. I'm not gonna eat them. I bet the birds are. Well, what else will we see along here? It's the right depth for carp. Where are they? We'll see what happens here. You see the fin in the backwater? Or the fish's back sticking out of the water? We're gonna get some action, I think. I'll paddle real slow so I can sneak up on them. Oh yeah. Here comes some action. Just watch them. I see at least 3 sticking out of the water. Look how big they are. Like swimming pigs. Oh, right there. Look at the size of that fish. Well, that worked. Everything inside this canoe just got splashed. But that was fun. Let's see if we can find any more. Getting pretty shallow here. For anybody bringing a boat up here, this is a no-wake lake. I've completed my paddle around Volga Lake. Saw a few things, spooked a few carp, had some fun with that, saw a few birds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you for a drive through the rest of Volga Lake Recreation Area. First we'll go up to the developed campground, do a spin through there. Then we'll come back down and we'll drive through the Equestrian area. After that, I will take you, if I can still get down to it, I'll take you to a secret little spot that I kind of enjoy. It's not really that secret, but it's a spot I like to drive through when I'm up here, especially when the autumn leaves are present. So we'll move to the truck now and I'll take you for a drive. We're now driving out of the Volga Lake area. We'll head up to that campground. We've always enjoyed the campground. It's clean, quiet, never had a problem. Like I said before, the only issue is actually getting a spot. We're not the only ones who know a good campground when we see it. Called the Lakeview Campground. I think that might be a stretch at times. It's Lakeview if you walk certain trails, but not necessarily from the campground. Imagine this in another month. When we do our drives to go leaf looking up along the Mississippi, we almost always will swing through here just because it's close and it's oftentimes just as pretty. And here we are. This is a relatively new campground up here. Looks like today might be the day to bring a camper up. We'll just do one of the loops, I think. Give you an idea what it is. Playground for the kids if they need it. Oh yeah, I see the reservation labels here. It's a nice big one. As I mentioned, you can't really see the lake from here unless you get out and hike the trails or drive that other loop. Full hookup site. Got all the comforts from home in a nice quiet spot. Oh, since we're here, we'll drive that other loop too. May as well show you all of it. I would expect if I'd come back up here tomorrow at this time, on a Saturday after everybody's off of work, I would bet this would be full. Seeing lots of reserved labels. Good for them. Have a good weekend to camp. So there you have this part of it. It's not huge by any means, but it's a nice little campground. For us, it's not too far away. Well maintained. At your typical Iowa State Park rates. Shower house, latrine. We'll now head back down and drive across the park over to the Equestrian area. To the right and to the left here are the hiking and biking trails. If it's been rainy, you want to make sure you call ahead to see if the trails are open or closed, especially if you're bringing horses out here. There are times when they have to close the trails to protect them. This state park is big enough that there's actually some row crop production in here. No doubt that provides some good part of the habitat equation for the wildlife. This is the T intersection when we first came in. So if you're coming down here to ride horses, instead of going left to the lake, you go right. As you're coming in the park, we'll go straight here. And this will take you to the equestrian area. This will also take you to access points on the Volga River. Volga River is a pretty river to paddle, but you want to make sure there's enough water that you're not really going for a long walk. I've had to do that before. Water levels were so low you couldn't go anywhere other than for a walk, dragging your... At that time I took a kayak. More trails to the right. It appears to me the equestrian use might have or the equestrian campground might have as many people as the other campground already. Other than during the real extremes of weather, I've never come out here when there haven't been some horse people here. The number of places that have exclusive areas for equestrian are pretty limited around here, so I can see why it's popular. This is the other entrance. There's some horses right there. This is not the big campground. This is just the equestrian day use area. The equestrian campground is up there where you see that shine. I'm not much of a horse person, but these folks who have horses and have them as a passion, boy, they've got a lot of time and dollars invested in it. But they certainly seem to enjoy what they're doing. Off to the right, if you would go up there, I believe there's a archery range. I don't see that get much use. So here we are. This is the equestrian campground. Yep, there's more people here for horses than there are for the lake or the other campground. Interesting little teardrop camper here in the equestrian area. If you're pulling these big trailers filled with horses, you gotta have big pickups. Now I'm going to take you to a little spot that I try to check out every time I'm here if I'm able to get down the road, which is most of the time. It's a dead end, but I think it's kind of pretty. Takes you back here a ways, but it's worth it. Again, think of this a month from now when this is all the reds and yellows, the fall leaves, and then you can actually see the limestone bluffs. We can't see those right now. end of the dead end. It's another canoe access. But what I think gives it character is this old steel bridge. It's been closed for years. But you can still walk out on it. So let's go for a walk. Sorry if I made you a little bit seasick there for a minute. I had to get the clamp off of the door frame. I mentioned earlier you want to make sure that there's plenty of water flowing down the river. This is why. There's just not much to it. I would not want to take anything down it today. But isn't it pretty? So if we get enough rain in the late fall here, and when the colors are at their peak or close to peak, I might come paddle it. The whole bridge rattles when you move on it. Just another pretty area here at Volga River, or Volga Lake Recreation Area. I mentioned the limestone bluffs. You can't even see them right now with their leaves, but they're here. They're very pretty, very nice. So with that, thanks for joining me on my trip to the Volga Lake Recreation Area. We did some paddling, did some driving, and shot a few photos. Time for me to wrap this up and head home. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching.